Ladies, let me talk to you for a second. Just a second. Cause we got to clear something up today. See, in this social media world where everybody want to post every meal, after meal, every move, let me remind you of something old school. Some things just ain't nobody's business. Let me give you five things, that a grown woman, a woman who values her peace, her purpose, and her power must keep private. When it comes to relationships, there's one truth that never changes. The less people know, the better. Now, I'm not saying you got to go off and hide your partner like he's in the witness protection program. No, share your love, celebrate it, post the occasional cute photo if that's your thing. But here's the thing, the details, the ins and outs, the fights, the makeups, the pillow talk, the private jokes, the late night confessions. Keep that between you and him. Why? Because the minute you start inviting the world into your relationship, you also start inviting opinions, judgments, and drama you didn't ask for. Let me break it down. Every time you have an argument and run to your friend to vent, you might feel better for a minute. But your friend who loves you and wants to protect you now sees your partner through a different lens. They don't forget what he did, even after you've forgiven him. Next time you're out having dinner with him, your friend's giving him side-eye from across the room, still mad about something that happened 3 months ago. And it's not just friends. Social media is worse. You post a cryptic quote like, "A queen doesn't chase, she replaces," and now your followers are putting together a whole story. She must be mad at him again. Oh no, he cheated. And guess what? Now your relationship's a public soap opera. People tune in for your heartbreak like it's entertainment. You're starring in a show you never meant to create. It doesn't stop there. Sometimes it's the good moments that can be just as dangerous. You post every bouquet of flowers, every vacation, every surprise date, and now people start watching with jealousy, not love. They start comparing their relationships to yours, but what they don't see is what's behind the scenes. They don't see the arguments. They don't see the compromise. They don't see the nights you stayed up working through things. All they see is the highlight reel. And trust me, people don't clap for your happiness the way you think they do. Some folks are only watching so they know when to celebrate your downfall. A real relationship is like a home you don't leave the front door wide open for strangers to walk through. You protect it. You lock it up. You make it a safe space. There are parts of your love that should only belong to the two people in it. Not your followers, not your group chat, not even your mama, especially not her. Because while you and him may kiss and make up, your mama still remembers that time he had you crying. And trust me, mama don't forget. So the goal ain't secrecy, it's privacy. You're not hiding. You're protecting. There's a difference. You're choosing to guard what matters, to nurture it without the noise, to grow something real without needing applause. When you do that, you create something powerful, a love that's yours and nobody else's. And that, right there, is worth more than 1,000 likes. Money is one of the most sensitive topics in life, and yet in today's world, people talk about it like it's a trending hashtag. But let me tell you something real. Your financial business is your business. This is not for everybody to know how much you make, how much you saved, what you're investing in, or what's in your purse. In fact, the more people know about your pockets, the more problems you invite. People start counting your coins, making assumptions, and worst of all, feeling entitled to what they didn't earn. And let's be honest, not everyone is happy for you when you're doing well. You ever notice how some folks start acting funny the minute they think you've got a little more than them? Suddenly, your success becomes a threat. You post that you just got promoted or started a business, and instead of genuine support, you get silence or slick comments like, "Oh, must be nice," or "You changed." No, you didn't change, they just got uncomfortable. And why? Because they know your business. You handed them the blueprint to your financial life, and now they feel like they get to comment on it, compare themselves to it, or worse, compete with it. Now let's talk about relationships. One of the quickest ways to cause tension is to share your financial moves with the wrong people. Whether it's your partner, a friend, or your family wants money who's at a table, people's real character shows up. You tell a friend you're saving for a new car or home, and now she's joking about you picking up the bill every time y'all go out. You tell a relative you got a raise, and suddenly they're in a crisis calling you for help. And when you say no, now you're the villain in the story they tell others. You went from doing well to acting brand new just because you didn't hand over what you worked hard for. Even in dating, be careful. You tell someone too early about your income, and now they're more interested in what you can do for them than who you are. Money attracts the wrong kind of attention when it's flaunted. And don't get me wrong, be proud of what you've earned. Celebrate your wins. But you don't have to broadcast it to everybody who claps. Sometimes people are clapping just to keep up appearances, but behind closed doors, they're taking notes on how to leech off you later. Real wealth is quiet. It's strategic. It's personal. The richest people you'll ever meet don't wear it on their sleeves. They move with intention, not noise. They understand that keeping their finances private is a form of freedom. It lets them make choices without pressure, build without interference, and protect what matters most. So remember this, your bank account doesn't need an audience. Your blessings don't need validation. And your financial journey is between you and your goals, not the world. One of the most powerful things a woman can do is move in silence. In a world that constantly pressures us to show the grind and document the hustle, there's something rare and deeply strategic about keeping your next move to yourself. Everybody doesn't need to know what you're planning. Not every dream has to be announced before it's accomplished. Sometimes the best power move is letting people assume you're still figuring it out while behind the scenes, you're building something they never saw coming. See, when you tell people what you're about to do, you open the door to opinions, doubts, and silence. You could be excited, fired up about your idea, and then here comes somebody with no vision trying to play devil's advocate and talk you out of it. Suddenly you're second guessing yourself, not because you don't believe, but because someone else doesn't get it. That's the problem with sharing too soon. People speak from their limitations, not your potential. What they don't understand, they'll try to minimize. And if you're not solid in your belief yet, their fear can become your hesitation. Moving in silence protects you from all that noise. When you're quiet about your plans, you're not hiding, you're focusing. You're giving your energy to building instead of explaining. You're nurturing your goals in peace, letting them grow strong before the world even knows they exist. Think about it. You don't plant a seed and then dig it up every day to show people. You water it, you protect it, and eventually it blooms, and when it does, they'll see it. And let's not ignore this part. Some people aren't cheering for you. They're competing, waiting, watching, just so they can jump ahead or throw a wrench in your path. That's not paranoia. That's reality. Success can attract envy, especially when people feel like you're moving faster than they are. So why give them a front row seat to your progress? Let them find out after you've already arrived. By then, it's too late to block it. Quiet moves also give you the freedom to fail without spectators. And yes, sometimes things don't go as planned, and that's okay. But it's a whole lot easier to get back up when you didn't have a crowd waiting to watch you fall. Privacy gives you space to grow, adjust, and pivot without judgment. So while the world's busy making noise, be the woman who works in the shadows, who lets her results speak, who understands that mystery isn't weakness, it's power. Your next move isn't for applause. It's not for validation, it's for you. Build it quietly, then let the finished product do all the talking. Your past is part of your story, no doubt. It shaped you, it taught you, and it brought you to where you are now. But just because it's part of your journey doesn't mean it belongs to the whole world. There's a big difference between being honest about where you've been and turning your past into public entertainment. Some things are sacred, personal, and meant to stay in your heart, not on display for people who don't care about your healing, they're just curious. That curiosity is dangerous because not everyone listening wants to see you grow. Some just want to know your scars so they can reopen them when it's convenient. We live in a time where oversharing is seen as transparency. People think that spilling every detail of their past mistakes, pain, trauma, and choices makes them real. But being real doesn't mean being exposed. Being real means knowing when to share and when to protect your soul. You are not obligated to turn your past into a speech, a status update, or a story for people who haven't earned your trust. That pain you went through, that struggle you survived, that's yours. And it's okay to keep it to yourself. Sometimes when you share your past too freely, you give people the ammunition to judge you, limit you, or try to define you by things you've already outgrown. They stop seeing who you are now and keep putting you back into who you used to be. And when that happens, it's not your growth they focus on, it's your lowest point. That's not fair, and it's not healthy. The wrong people will take your vulnerability and use it as a measuring stick for what they think you're worth. Don't let them. Now, this isn't about shame. This isn't about pretending to be perfect or acting like your past didn't happen. It's about knowing that your past is a foundation, not a tattoo on your forehead. You can own your story without narrating every chapter. The people who truly matter, the ones who genuinely care for you, they'll take the time to understand your depth without needing every painful detail laid bare. You deserve to be known for your strength, not your struggle. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all. Let people see your transformation, not your storm. Let your life reflect the healing, not the hurt. If you choose to share, let it come from a place of power, not pressure. Tell your story when you're ready, not when the world demands it. And remember, privacy isn't hiding, it's healing. Your past may explain you, but it does not define you. Keep what's sacred, sacred, and walk forward with your head high.